up, guys?
What's up, guys?
Welcome to Watsies Subbuteo Show Euro Special. We have a special guest presenter with us tonight, Mr. Paul Pearson. I thought you had some walk-on music there, but no. There's only one way to beat them. Get round the back. So catch me if you can. If you're a Scottish fan.
Missed out that bit.
Terrible.
My neighbours hear that, I'll get burnt out.
What's the crack, Paul? How are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. How's it going with you?
We're good, hanging in there. Glad to be back after a wee break. You, who'd you get in the draw?
I got Austria, didn't I?
Austria.
Now 1-0 down, is it?
1-0 down.
Nightmare.
Bit by Holland. Do they not call them Holland anymore?
You're not allowed to call them Holland because Holland is only 2 provinces in the Netherlands.
Really?
Small fact.
Nice.
Listen, how you don't get that in every else show, do you?
You know what I mean?
That's
There's 9 provinces that make up Netherlands.
There's 9 Protestants. There's 9 Protestants.
Oh,
Protestants. There are more than 9 Protestants in Holland.
There's one very special one. Our King Billy. Here, just a bit of crack tonight. We're not doing any of the usual stuff we do in the show. So just a bit of crack. See what's happening with everybody and see how you're all getting on with the Euros. Obviously, Paul, you're an England fan. We are adopted Scotland fans. Bradley got Scotland in the draw, so big game tomorrow night.
That's right.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's one of those where you're calm as an England fan. You're calm all week, and then the closer it gets, you start, the backside twitches a little bit, and tomorrow's going to be unbearable because you think on paper England should win this game, but it's a derby. Anything can happen. That's the worry.
I think you boys will shit the bed because it's all hyped up. You should be winning. You should be beating them. Should be. I seen the boy on the TV tonight saying it's like if you've one crowd has a car lot with only 10 cars in it, and they've only 10 cars to pick from, but then some other here has thousands of cars in their car lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You should be winning, but I think you will shit the bed.
I think
the nerves will get to them. Well, them boys too young, and the Scots.
That's quite the analogy there, Bradley. Who was giving that one out?
Some dude in the TV. I don't know. Some Scottish boy in the TV.
I think one of the main factors in tomorrow's game is going to be the referee, because
the cries on already. The cries.
Cry of ears. I can't believe that. The match hasn't even started. It hasn't even Friday yet.
Yeah.
That referee's a wanker.
They're going to start saying about going to penalties and.
Yeah, but if we get one of those, like a typical European referee that's blowing the whistle every 5 seconds and giving free kicks here, free kicks there, then that's going to play into England's hands. If we get a referee that lets it flow and lets the tackles go in, that's going to play into Scotland's hands. Because we know Scotland are going to go for it. They're going to be right up for it, and they're going to be crunching tackles in the first minute because that's what they do. Rightly as well.
I've seen a lot of Scotland fans saying that they're absolutely terrible. That they're just not the team. They're not even close to the team that they should be. But when you look at their team on paper, they have a strong team on paper. And you look like Scott McTominay, Robertson, if Tierney is fit, they have a good team, but it's just not. They didn't play well against the Czechs. And then the only thing is, England could underestimate them and just think they're walking into the game to beat them, and then it could backfire on them. Hopefully, it backfires on them.
Me and Katrina met all the Scotland team.
You've met in Scotland?
In Edinburgh. We went as soon as we brother Patrick does some scouting thing for Celtic. I don't know what it is. But they were training in the university Armory was in. There's a big sports ground, and he took us over to watch them. They were lovely.
They were lovely.
I don't know who in the world, like, but they were lovely.
They're not great footballers, but they're lovely.
Oh, they were class, man. They lovely people.
Lovely bunch of boys. Yeah. So, would you be supporting Scotland anyway? Not against England. I mean, in the tournament.
Well, I'd already said I would support them anyway because there's a lot of ex-Celtic players, and then current Celtic players there. So you've the likes of Christie there, and then you've McGregor. You have Armstrong that used to play for them. Tierney used to play for them. You know, there's a lot of ex-Celtic there and former Celtic. Yeah. So I was always going to support them anyway.
They're linear still.
We would always adopt Scotland no matter what. If Ireland aren't in a competition, we would adopt them anyway. So.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think I don't even want to say it. The other half of the community of Ireland or Northern Ireland would pick England. You know what I mean? If Northern Ireland weren't in a competition,
I don't know.
They would pick England.
I don't know. I don't know if they would. They would go either way, would they not?
90% of Rangers fans, not 90%, this is going to be a bad statement. 50% of the Rangers fans are England supporters as well as.
Yeah.
Scotland.
How do you know that? How do you know that? You're making that number up.
Well, that's just they're following. That's just the way the team they follow.
A certain part
like
of this community would follow anybody on the mainland. They would consider the mainland. So they would say our English brethren or our Scottish brethren or our Welsh brethren on the mainland. Which is fair enough. You know what I mean? I wouldn't take that viewpoint at all. I hope you hears go out. I hope you get bit tomorrow and you get bitten Monday.
But everybody wants England to lose because the media kills England for everything. You know,
that's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask you why we have the perception of why any for England. You know what I mean?
He's never fucked up about that World Cup one, and the rest of the world's sick. Listen to these. You don't hear Brazil going on about, oh man, that time we won the World Cup 6 times. Nah.
It's not.
I'll tell you what. I think God love them poor boys out playing football for England. Because they're only young fellas, a lot of them. And they'll maybe get out of the groups, get out of the last 16, win their quarter final, get to the semi-final, they'll be in the final, and they'll get bit 5-4. And see when they get bit 5-4 in the final, all the newspapers in England will be saying, useless, share a shite. Useless. They used to do that per cunt Tom Hayman every year. Wimbledon. Start of the summer. Oh, fucking Tom Hayman. They hear all the people, and everybody loves him, and Tom's the greatest thing ever. Gets bit in the final. That useless bastard. It's all over the papers, that useless bastard. And it's the TV they're saying, useless here.
It's like Andy Murray, isn't it, at Wimbledon? He's British till he gets knocked out, then he's back to being Scottish again.
Useless Scottish Andy fucking Murray.
And then when he wins it, he's fluent English.
Qualify. If our boys get qualified, that's it. Fucking heroes. If our boys don't qualify, it's too warm and fucking Qatar. You wouldn't want to go there anywhere.
We don't want to go there, no. Definitely not. Here, Paul, you recently went back to playing professional Subbuteo.
True story, yeah. Joined the club.
True story. What club did you join?
It's Solent Table Soccer and Subbuteo Club.
Magic.
Happy days. And what do you think? How was it?
Oh, mate, it's the best thing I ever did.
Serious?
Aside from, kids and all that.
You have to say that. No, you have to say that.
So aside from the kids and the missus, no, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Because it goes not just about playing Subbuteo, the game itself, but it goes a bit deeper than that. Because I relate it to the show that you did a little while back about the mental health thing.
Yeah.
And it's just another thing to get out of the house and get you doing something and get you like mixing with people, like-minded people, and having a bit of crack. And that's exactly what it's been like for me. It's been absolutely brilliant. Absolutely loving it.
And what nights do they play?
So it's every other Wednesday night.
Oh, happy days. And is Jason Christopher still? Does he go there as well? Is he in the same club?
Yeah, Jason's there.
And what's he like at playing? Good?
Yeah, he's a good player, actually. Good player. I mean, first night I turned up and I saw him standing outside and I was like, nervous puppy, not wanting to walk in and see all these people that I didn't know. Needed a few whiskies before I went in. But he was there and he took me in and introduced me to everyone. And my first game we played, I played against Jason, and he went easy on me, but he gave me a beating. But he's good player. But yeah, I mean it's weird because I hadn't played for so long.
Yeah,
talking years, and I tried the solo that you guys absolutely love, and it not for me, but but to play against people, especially when you don't know how good or bad they might be, and testing yourself against them, it's great, and I'm doing all right. I win as many as I lose, so I'm happy with that.
That's at least you're winning early. Do you know what I mean? That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Just enjoying it.
We had a guy come back to Subbuteo on Monday night. We started back on Monday night, and we had a guy come back, D Jenkins. He watches the show, and he came back because he found us on Twitter or YouTube or whatever, and he was playing away back in the 80s, apprehensive, and I got talking to him, and he was apprehensive about coming back. He'd been playing the zone and farting about with a practice table, and he came back, and I think he won 2 games in his first night. Beat me 3-1. And you could see the skill that he had.
Yeah.
He's good, man. It's good. He hasn't played in so long, but he
wasn't 100% sure about the rules, but we were able to, I was able to tell him, can't do that, can do that, keep going. Why don't you use him? And he was brilliant. And as the night progressed, he got better and better, and you'll be the same. You'll just find yourself naturally getting more relaxed and finding it easier around people, when you're come into the club and you're in the middle of it. The next thing you're in the mix every week.
Same photo, you looked apart and around the table anyway. Same photos of you. that there England tab over your shoulder, don't you?
That had its first run out, yeah.
And what's
I'm going to start with Netflix merch now. That's what's coming next.
What's the standard of the players? How would you describe the quality? Is there a guy that could be in a World Cup? Is there guys down at your beginner level?
I think there's probably a couple of players that are sort of around my level. Yeah. And there's I don't know about World Cup standard. I don't know if there's any that good. But then I've not seen everybody play, and I've not met everybody from the club yet.
Yeah.
People can make it some nights, and some nights they can't. But there's some decent players. There's some decent players there, and you can tell on my first night. You could tell that some players were going easy with me because it could have quite easily been a 5, 6, 7-0. But they also had to guide me through the rules because we're playing advanced rules, and it's not a set of rules I've ever played before. So it's sort of like learning as I go. But the second week was a lot better because I had more of a grasp of things and what was going on. So, if I noticed something, I could then call it rather than waiting for the person and relying on them. But, they're an honest bunch. So, there's never any problems like that. But no, it's really good atmosphere.
What would you say to the people? What would you say to the people that are, because we try to encourage you when you're on the show about get into a club and go. It's not as bad as you think. So what would you say to these people that call it the professional game and say, "Oh, I'm happy just playing up in the attic with myself." You know what I mean?
Get out and do it, because it's not. We all grew up playing Subbuteo at home. And we all played the same rules, or we made up, we tweaked them a little bit to suit ourselves, because all we had was that white pamphlet that came in the box, and we read it off, and that's how we played. And the game has evolved, things change, it's like modern, actual, real football. It's evolved. The rules change, it develops to try and make it a better game. Now, I always looked and thought to myself when I saw players playing these rules, playing, a flat back 8 or something like that, and it's like, God, what's the point in that? What's the point in playing like that? But now I've had a few goes at it and I'm playing it regularly. Yeah, you need it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to get turned over. You know, and as the game develops, the players spread out a bit, and it creates gaps and spaces, and it's a skill. It's an actual, you know, it's a skill doing it, and it's like fun chess, if that's a way of describing it. You know what I mean? Because you know, you've got to
crack chess.
Yeah, you've got to be thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead when you're playing, and you know, to my cost on my first week.
I was just about to say that about chess because I was playing. Was I playing Bradley? When was I playing you, Bradley? Did we play recently?
Monday night.
But I had a chance. I had a chance with him, and he had always men push forward, and I was able to cut across the table and have a couple of possessions. And then I had that eureka moment. Where I went, "This is fucking chess," you know. And I was thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead, and I think I might have hit the post or something in the shot. Yeah. And I went, I'm going to hold. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let him come on to me and let him leave them gaps at the back, and I'm going to keep doing this. But it never happened again because I don't. But you have them moments when you're playing and you go easy when it opens up like that. You know where you'll come across a guy. Martin's father was. He put all his men across the back, and you couldn't get through. You couldn't get through the shooting lane, no matter what you done. And then once he would make a slip up, and that was your chance. And if you get in behind him, you had a good chance of scoring. But very rarely could I could start a match and say, Martin, this is 0-0, and his father would go probably, and I would go, no, it definitely is, because he was just that good at setting up his defense.
Yeah,
he wouldn't push men forward. He wouldn't take chances going forward. He was just happy to defend and play the game, ticky-tacky football. And you'll come across that yourself.
Well, you really get the chance to just fly up and score. You have to build an attack, and then if you're defending, you have to recognise he's building an attack. So you'll maybe know that he's only got 3 flicks with that guy, and he's 2 dudes sitting, in good positions in the end of your line.
Yeah. So
block them 2 boys. You use your defensive blocks to build a defense against the attack. Don't just go to try and block the ball. You'll get nowhere like that, man. You have to recognise what's coming. And
I've been playing with sort of like two high, sort of wide men.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've noticed this, when you're watching football on the television, I get frustrated as hell when you see the back 4 have more possession than anybody else. And they're just playing it across the park, and they're waiting for something to happen forward, obviously, before they play it in. I'm like that in Subbuteo now. I didn't think I'd do that, but I'm sort of like keeping possession and just playing it from side to side, so that when my opponent is doing his blocking flicks, I'm hoping that he's going to make a space that I can then,
get in behind,
get into. And it's
draw the defence out, take the ball down one side of the pitch, and let him bring his defence to that side, and then play it over. You're always trying to get down the sides. That's the thing with the back line. You want to get down either side, so you'll play it down one side, let him bring more men over, then get the ball over, try and get down the other side, or draw the defence out to yourself.
Bradley has a certain move he does from kickoff, where 3 flicks. His first 3 flicks, he's normally in your box for a shot straight away. So the only way to counter it is put 2 men on each wing.
Yeah.
So that you have a cover. So I was able to pick that up after a couple of times of playing him, but then you forget yourself.
4 years after 4 years of playing.
4 years.
But then you forget sometimes.
He kept saying to me, he kept giving off to me. Oh, you always take the ball there and score in that corner. You always take that. I said, well, you fucking know that, man. What do you?
See him. He scores the same goal.
Team up, Watsy.
He scores the exact same goal every time, at least once a match.
If I'm able to score the same goal every time, that's not me. That's the problem, man. That's it.
Well, I'm just saying you're predictable.
He's like the cheat on FIFA, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what he does.
You can't give off that your opponent's predictable and he always does the same thing.
He does
if he's doing the same thing every time and scoring the same goal, and he's going to do it, Why the fuck are you not blocking that off? You know what I
But
mean?
you can't. You can't.
Martin, if it
It's
ain't
like-
broke, don't fix it, mate.
It's like sensible soccer. Do you remember sensible soccer? You could go to the certain
Yeah.
corner and curl it in. That's his
Yeah.
goal. He's the sensible soccer style. Comes down the wing, cups in, curls it in the top corner every fucking time.
It's a bit more difficult in Subbuteo.
Right? Hold on, hold that. You get a beer. 2 seconds.
Okay.
That's good. You're enjoying it, man. I'm so glad. I'm glad you went. Glad you enjoyed it.
I'm
That's the
glad-
first time we got back. Do you know what I mean?
I'm glad you two pushed me towards doing it, really, because I've always been quite sort of, when it's meeting with people, I've always been quite introverted and been sort of like, oh, I don't know if I like that, but and I spent hours on the first Wednesday before thinking of excuses that I could text to Jason, that reasons why I couldn't turn up, and I just went for it, I went with it, and just brilliant, just absolutely brilliant.
It's good
That's
that
like
Jason,
Ash-
it's
that
good
was
that
like
Jason
Ashing with
encouraged
us.
you as well.
Yeah.
Everybody
Ashing watched us for a year, I think, and they then started the odd week comment, and then wanted to come on, and then came up and fuck, Ashing's all in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Travel.
I just want to show a photo of me beating Oshin in the last minute of the game, right here. With some finish, and that's another player that me and Oshin play each other. It either goes 0-0 or a real late 1-0 goal, and I scored it. And I kept saying this is going 0-0, and he kept saying to me, "No, I think there's going to be a winner. I think there's going to be a winner." And I scored in the 89th minute. It's unbelievable.
Took me ages to score against you too. I don't think it was late on when I scored, wasn't it?
You scored late,
Wasn't-
and
It was in the second half.
My plan was to get a draw with you and get a draw with Barry, and try and win all my matches. That was my technique to win it. But I think you got it late, about 83 minutes. You scored.
So, but there was a lot of pressure up until that.
83 minutes is about a minute and a half to go on your timer. I realised 85, it gives you a minute.
We've a timer that counts down 45 minutes a half, but within like a 10 or 15, you can set it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it condenses the 90 minutes into that, do you know?
Yeah.
So when it's coming up nearly end, it's coming up to like, I don't
The
know,
last-
what is it? Like,
the
like
last
80,
minute.
and you hear the
85,
crowd
it
starts
gives you a crowd.
going on the timer, and then you know, fuck, they're not long left.
Because I was actually doing the same in the first half. You had a corner, and the crowd started to go, and I went, "I'm slowing this up."
I think I had a shot right at the end before the whistle. I was just about to shoot and score, and the whistle went. And the end of the first half.
That's the way shit happens.
Had the same with Barry as well.
So what's it like at your club at Derry? Is it
Magic, man.
Are you all sort of like a same standard, or are you like what I've experienced? You've got your beginners and you've got your, experts, whatever you want to call them. And is it
the league table this week was sort of very hard to call because Bradley and Barry Spence would be the best two there on the evening. Martin probably thought Barry should have won it. Barry probably was thinking Martin should have won it, that way. So Martin won it, beat him in the last game 2-1. I ended up third. I shouldn't have lost to D, but he just got me. He just caught me off guard. You know what I mean?
He's very quick.
Very quick. Very skilled. So
probably have like a Jude. Jude's only been playing with us.
Year is it?
Is that even a year? Is that a year?
A year before lockdown.
A year before lockdown, but he never played or heard a game before. Before that.
Yeah.
And Ashing, I suppose Ashing's gotten really good. But he would be newish. No, he wouldn't even be now.
We have a good mix. Like
we have a good mix. There's a good mix.
We have World Cup 3 players that have been to the World Cup: Kenny, Barry, and Simon Stewart that used to play for us. Simon's they're getting back next week in Germany to play. 5 they're allowed, so they have to do a draw to play in their group. So if you get drawn out, you're one of the lucky 5 to play.
Because there are restrictions, then there's so many in the club. So if they're going to have a night, they can only have 5 people there.
Yeah.
So
which is unfortunate. But
we're lucky, like, in a way.
And do you keep it to you all have to use the same bases and players?
No. You can
use anything you want, man. If you want to use an heavyweight team, work away. I'll do
you
no favors. But
yeah, that was one of the first things I noticed at ours. It was like, just I rocked up with my CLR dynamic bases that, as advised by your good self, Watsy, and and me own little team that I'd done. And there was people there with heavyweights and lightweights and celluloids and bloody
did they all play? So did you play somebody on lightweights a couple of times, or?
First game was yeah, and heavyweights. That was in the first week. Second week we started the league, and I think I played 3 games, and I think they were all against people with a similar flat base to what I was using. Yeah,
people will naturally start doing that. Start saying, "Let me have a go at them flat bases," and then people have this impression they hear that's not Subbuteo, that's not as much fun, and then they realise that's far better crack. It's far better having that tactical action side.
I know you're new to the club and you don't want to sort of speak out of turn and stuff like that, but somebody who's older in the club, or somebody who's more experienced, should be trying to encourage them and to say, look, you're going to have a better night. You're going to make the night you're going to make the night better for everybody else, because if I show up and play somebody in our club with a set of lightweights, I'm going to trounce them 4 or 5-0 a set of flats. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they might be as good a player as me with a flat. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing I could say is like try and encourage the people using lightweights to get into the flat bases. They'll have a better experience.
We've Paul Boyd plays with us, and he uses Santiago bases, doesn't he? Heavyweights. Always did. Paul's a good player. He's a good player. That's the basis he. You know what I mean? He can beat you. He can draw with you, and that's the basis he uses all the time.
I've seen guys at the club that they turn up with their boxes and they open their boxes and they've got about 3 or 4 different teams in there on different bases, and before they play they're like, right, what do you want to use? I'd like to use these. Is that all right with you? And they'll be like, yeah, all right. So he might get his heavyweights out and the other guy might get his heavyweights out, or something like that. But when I was playing, I only had the one team, so I was playing different people using different bases against me. That was obviously in the first week, but it's unreal because I grew up on lightweights and playing with lightweights, obviously just for fun or in little leagues against my mates at school. And now after using these flats, I mean, the difference is vast. It's incredible.
There's no going back, man, is there?
No, not at all.
And once you buy yourself an Extreme Works pitch, then that's it. You're set for life.
Yeah, because my first game, I didn't have any polish or anything like that, so I hadn't polished the bases either. So I'm playing away, and it was against Jason, and he beat me. And then the next game, I was playing another chap, and he got his polish out, and I was like, oh, can I try a bit of that on these? He was like, yeah, no worries. So I'm polishing all my players up. Bloody hell, that took some getting used to.
Completely different.
I was flicking with the same power that I was when they weren't polished, and they were just going.
That's because you're used to them sticking all over the pitch, man.
And what sort of pitches do they use in the club? What did you notice what they're using?
Yeah, they always look like they all are Subbuteo Astro pitches.
All right. Happy days.
It's my favourite type of pitch, man.
Yeah.
Original Astros.
Yeah,
my favourite
original Astros.
And it's good that they're all on the same pitch, because sometimes you go to different tables and they're a different pitch in each table, and then you're trying to adjust to each table. You know what I mean? So it's good. Good for you. It's good for you as a beginner, not a beginner, but getting used to it. I
quite like the different pitches, but I like there being different pitches.
But when we started, what was our tables? And we started we had a pitch and it looked like, was it even Astro? And it was
The
fucking
Pegasus.
the sladiest pitch in the world.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was like a bald Astro. It was like a
Jeez,
baldy
it
Astro
just
pitch.
fucking, your players just shooting off the pitch. It was like it was like somebody had pulled an old cloth pitch really tight and stapled it down. It just blew. It was like unbelievable. And then his brother used to bring a pitch, and it was a fucking a cloth pitch on a board with cardboard underneath it or something.
No, it had that like an underlay, like a felt underlay or something
Oh
under it.
Jesus! It was like
It was
playing
like
on
a
the water.
it was like a
waterlogged
waterlogged
pitch.
pitch. Like a waterlogged pitch.
But
You
that's
could
what
have
really-
called that a crack then.
You could have polished your team so hard, and you were flicking them, and they were just going boom, stopping dead.
The ball used to go like that. The ball used to go like that.
The
You
ball
could click
didn't,
the ball and you'd hit the ball and go.
but the ball didn't
Huddle
go
up
out
in the
because whatever way you had the thing underneath, like a hump on each side of the pitch. So the ball just used, when it went to go out, it just used to go turn back in.
Oh, what?
It was like playing junior football. I'm not joking. It was like going down the field and someone saying, "Here, we'll play there. That looks flat," and you're going, "That's not flat." Kicking the ball down the pitch and it just keeps rolling in.
It sounds
Mental.
like a bit like my old board that is under my boy's bed. It's Astropix laid on some like chipboard, and it's warped a little bit. So down one corner, if you hit the ball, if you overhit it, it's not going out. It goes along and then it goes. It comes back
Stays
down.
in. Well, he hits my pitch. I have a pitch I call the Brandy Wheel, and he hits it. He just hates it because there is a warp in it because it's been on a board from the 1980s. You know what I mean?
It's like a banana. It's like a banana. The pitch goes like that.
But I know how to play on it. I know the way it plays. So to me, it's a home advantage. You know what I mean? Where his new Astro Extreme pitch is his advantage. Even though I beat him on it. I beat him on it the first ever game on it. I beat him 1-0, 2-0. Sorry.
1-0. I don't know where you get the two out of. 2-1.
It was never recorded. This match was never recorded or ever seen, so nobody can ever speak of it. We did
It's just him on YouTube. The 350 people.
380.
Oh,
Here, I just want to go through some praises that people have won already. So, Portugal scored the first penalty. Gary Nolan, you've won your tenner back, so free entry. And then Gary Rovita got the first red card for Poland, so he's won his tenner back. Worst team at the minute is Turkey, surprisingly. North Macedonia are actually fucking doing all right.
They fucking look good, man, when they were playing. At the start, they looked fucking good.
I never seen them today, but apparently they were good today.
They were good.
Did
they get bit the first game?
They could beat 3-1. 3-1 by Austria, I think.
You thought they'd be shite, but they were fucking good. They were dominating the first part of the game.
Did you see them warming up today?
No.
Did you see the North Macedonians warming up?
No.
They had cones upside down and footballs, and they were running towards each other and going like that and swapping balls and catching them in the cones. That was their warm up. You just wanted a bit of.
That's why they're so shit. But obviously not as shit as Turkey.
Worse out there,
Italy. 2-3-0. So
Italy look hot. I know why France are the favourites, and Italy look fucking hot, man.
No, Italy are incredible. I watched them last night, and they are sexy football.
Yeah, I mean,
sexy football with a sexy football manager as well, Mancini.
If England get knocked out,
eh?
Stay away. Throw all them rigs in the van.
The 82 Italy shirt.
So then, first, I don't know what way the qualifiers go. I think England get France, do they? If they both go through.
Not that depends who's first and second in the group, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I think they can because France have such a difficult group.
we get the runners up. If we win our group, we get the runners up of the France, Germany, Portugal group.
Yeah.
And Hungary. Let's not forget them because they are in it. They'll probably get tonked by everyone, but they're in it.
But yeah,
so we play the second place team in that. So to be fair, if we, after watching Portugal and Germany, I mean, Germany weren't much against France. France didn't even break sweat. Let's be honest. Portugal was shit for 84 minutes against Hungary.
I know.
So if we come up against those in the last 16, it wouldn't worry me. But then, let's not be too confident. We haven't won our group yet. We've got to do that bit first. We might come second. We might come third. You never know.
I think as well. I think as will win your group. I can't. My heart says Scotland will beat you or get a draw against you, but I can't see it happening. I think England will win tomorrow night, and that will be them as qualified. Whether or not they top the group, I can't see them not topping the group. Czechs are good.
England should win tomorrow night, but like I say, my prediction is they may well shit the bed. And then airs against Scotland, and the Scots will not give a shit, and they'll just ram through them, pushing Harry Kane out the road and sticking it in the net.
You just don't know, dear. England, Scotland, it's one of those games, isn't it? It's never a game where one team absolutely tonks the other, is it? It's the last few games that we played, they've all been close.
Yeah. Well, you get. I don't know. It's hard to call. Heart says Scotland. Head says England. For that other group, France aren't going to be runners up in that group. France are going to wipe the floor with Portugal.
Yeah.
And then it's all between Germany and Portugal, isn't it? Really, for second place. So you'll get, if you top your group, you'll get the Germans or Portugal.
Yeah. Germany's. What do you think about Germany, Paul? How do you fancy that?
The thing is, there's that saying in there, you don't write off the Germans, but I mean, they just looked ordinary. They looked ordinary to French. And I mean, Hummels, he must still be having nightmares about Mbappe. He must be. Because the guy ran him ragged, didn't he, for 90 minutes. He just,
Mbappe's good, but he's fucking
the guy finished second in a 15-yard sprint with a 10-yard advantage, didn't he? He's just not fair. So, yeah, I mean...
That's against anybody, that Mbappe boy is going to be...
Yeah.
Be a tough catch, isn't it?
That's the only thing I worry about Italy. I think Chiellini went off last night before he got injured. I think judging by his body and the way he talked when he was going off the pitch, he got it. He just knew he was pulling a hamstring and he went off. So he's going to be fit and he's going to play. He's not going to play the next match because they're through. They'll play all the wee backups against Wales. Yeah. They should beat Wales. He's going to start playing again, them quarterfinals and stuff.
Wales were good yesterday, man. Wales were good yesterday.
Italy were sensational, Martin. Italy's too good for everybody.
Italy are fucking brilliant. Italy are brilliant, man. I
And
thought France were the favourites, but
Chiellini for me is going to be their weak side, their weakness. Too slow.
What about Pearl fucking what's his back? Ericsson? Fucking heart attack?
Man, that was
Jesus Christ. I thought he was dead.
He was dead. Well, he was.
I thought he was. I know.
He was dead.
Yeah.
Stop playing. Somebody set off my LA.
I mean, you just got to take your hat off to the medical people, haven't you? And the Danish captain who was there straight away, putting him in the recovery position. I mean, these guys, heroes, aren't they, for what they do?
But they knew straight away, Stephen. As soon as your man threw the ball, as soon as he dropped, he was like, no. And as soon as the referee seen it, he was, there was no checking what's going on. It was no fucking about, man. They were straight on the ball. I thought, fair play to you. And then the crowd, the boys all around them. Man, heartbreaking. I thought, Jesus Christ, what are we watching?
I actually sat here in fucking tears praying because that's what happened to my dad. My dad just dropped. Now he was dead in a second. Do you know what I mean? And they worked on him. They worked on him for 40 minutes and couldn't get him back. And I'm thinking, he's gone. See, when I seen them shock him, when I seen the legs and all going in the air, I'm going, what's going on? Why are they still showing this here?
I know.
And then zooming in his wife, and then I'm going, this is fucking insane. Just go back to the studio.
They should have just back to the studio.
Back to the studio.
Or cut to that bloody overhead thing where it's just looking over the city or whatever.
As well, part of you was still interested. Part of you wanted to see a foot movement.
The whole world was glued to the fucking. Everybody's giving off, but the BBC still showing it. The whole world was glued to that fucking TV, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's human nature, isn't it? You just got it, and it's inside, and you're curious, and you just in a really.
I don't think it wasn't morbid. It wasn't morbid, man. It was fucking concern. We've all heard stories of young footballers, local teams, and country teams, and all. Everybody knows a story of a footballer that just dropped in the middle of a match. Do you know what I mean? Fit, healthy young man, never drunk, spoke, peak physical performance, dropped dead, and then you're watching it live in the fucking.
No, it was scary to watch.
Do you know what I
mean? But thankfully, he fucking pulled through. Well, do you know what, boys? I'm gonna wrap it up. I think it's been quality little show. I think we're only going to manage 4 of these, maybe, if we're lucky. So we're going to try and get some of the home nations on.
On a bell check next week.
we thought we'd start with you because you're a decent painter. That's the only reason we'll give you a chance.
Yes, in case you get bit by Scotland tomorrow and then you end up getting knocked out. We thought.
Well, if anybody's watching this, here, let's go for predictions. There you go. So anybody that's watching this after this England-Scotland game, when I put this up on YouTube, they can get a good laugh. Bradley, what's your prediction?
I'm gonna say 3-2 Scotland.
Jesus blesses.
I think England will feel all the pressure because your man, what do you call him, the manager and all, everybody, all them boys, everybody's saying you have to beat them. You are far better. They're a far better squad. If you don't beat them, there's something fucking wrong. And that'll play in them boys' heads, play in anybody's head, man. Do you know what I mean? And you're out there in the pitch and you see these Scottish boys coming at you, and I think the Nares will get them. They'll shit the bed. Your man will howl off putting on the big boys, or he'll throw all the big boys in too early. And Scotland will nick a goal early. They'll nick a goal early, and you'll shit the bed. And then Scotland will get another one. And then they'll get another one in the second half, right? And then England will come round to their senses. But it'll be too late, and it'll end up 3-2.
I'm going to go for it.
Or it could be fucking 6. It could be 6-0 to England. Do you know what I mean?
I'm going to be diplomatic and say 1-1 draw.
Nah, never.
Okay, well, I think purely because of England's strong bench as well, because you think, you take somebody, normally when you take somebody on, it's a weaker player that's coming on, but he's just a bit fresher. We've got our bench is so strong. I'm going to go 3-0 England.
Oh, it's a deadly squad. Do you know what I mean? What do you call your wee man with he's dyed his hair blonde?
Oh, Foden.
Phil Foden.
Foden. He's relatively new to the scene, isn't he? But he's fucking lethal, man.
Yeah.
He is good.
And that's
and
the thing.
In school dinners. Which is about as a dinners.
Oh, Rashford.
Rashford.
He's good. And the other man scored the goal last day. What do you call him?
Sterling.
Raheem Sterling. He's good.
And
you know what I mean? And they can pull on that many good players, man. You're right.
Grealish on the bench. You got Rashford on the bench. Calvert-Lewin on the bench.
Remember Calvin Phillips is a good player as well.
Yeah. I don't even know who's Scottish. He watched the boys trading. I don't know who anymore. Shaking hands. What's the crack? Hi. People. Millionaires playing football.
Right, boys. Before we go, here's some match highlights from somewhere.
That was Cranston Classic.
Now I've got a cousin called Kevin. He sure Even at the age of 10, smart for Kevin was a smart boy then. He always beat me at Subbuteo, 'cause he flicked a kick and I didn't know. Oh, my perfect cousin, what I like to do, he doesn't. He's his family's pride and joy, his mother's little golden boy. His mother bought him a synthesizer, got the human league into advisor. Now he's making lots of noise, playing along with the art school boys. Girls try to attract his attention, but what a shame, it's in vain, total rejection. He will never be left on the shelf, 'cause Kevin, he's in love with himself. Oh, my perfect cousin, what I like to do, he doesn't. He's his family's pride and joy, his mother's little golden boy.
Oh, great job.
Right.
They were good match highlights.
They were good match highlights, right, lads? Thanks very much.
Did you notice I won our tournament on? You'll see it in the match highlights the next week. Well,
I thought you were excellent, mate.
in my Flex for Kicks t-shirt.
Yes.
I dominated proceedings, pushed all adversaries to the side, and I stormed in the final. And I think it was the Flex for Kicks t-shirt did it.
At least
There
you
it
could
is.
have worked. At least you could have worked tonight.
Kits for Flex. Kits for Flex.
Kicks
Good
for
award.
Flicks, get it right.
I apologize, Gareth. I apologize, Paul.
Oh, you're getting it wrong. That's
Kits
right.
for Flex. Kits for Flex. I've got it
Alright.
wrong once.
Right. Okay. Thanks very much, Paul. It's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thank you very much, and best of luck for the tomorrow night.
Lovely.
Hope he's get a draw.
No, you don't.
Hope you lose 3-2.
See you all again next week for another show. Hope you like this one. Cheerio.
Bye.